call me Annie.
So I'm just curious, how did this all come about?
It's kind of a long story. It's it's really about being at the right place at the right time. Uh, a lot. It's yeah, it definitely is, and um, knowing people, but not in the way that you might think.
Please, do tell.
Okay, I haven't told the story in forever. Oh my gosh. All right, so it's my senior year, the summer after my senior year in 2003, and one day my friend Jamie calls me up, and she said that this guy that we graduated, his name is John, had called to invite her to come meet Keanu. Well, apparently, John's best friend Kevin's mother was Keanu's cousin, so I don't really know how that all worked, but The Matrix, the last Matrix series, was coming out in November, so he was coming to spend the next month or 2 months to just kind of rest before all the press started, the press tours and stuff started. He was going to stay with his cousin because she lived out in the country. You know, where we're from, there's not a lot of people. It's a pretty low-key state, not just city. So he knew that he would have some time to just be Keanu. Jamie was very wary about it because John wasn't really notorious for being that honest. So that's why she called me. She called me for me to just basically be her wingman, to go and make sure that John was being serious, and if not, and if he was, and then we were going to meet Keanu. So, and if he wasn't, then we would just leave, and you know, I would be there to help her to get away. So either way, we could hang out, so it wasn't really a big deal, and I was like, awesome, you know. We went to Kevin's house, John's best friend, and when we got there, Keanu was already supposed to be there. So, strike one, he wasn't there. We got there, and they're like, well, we haven't heard from him yet, the plane might be delayed, so just hang out. So Kevin's mom made us some snacks, and we just kind of sat around and we all played, I think, what was big at the time, like Splinter Cell or the first Halo or something. We're just playing Xbox for a while. That probably lasted about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I was starting to get a little suspicious. So I told Jamie, I was like, we have to go because it's obvious that he's not coming, and it was just a trick to get you to come and hang out and play with him. John came up and he was like, no, I promise, he's got to be on his way. Well, about that time, Kevin's mother comes in and she says, I just talked to him, and he said that the plane was delayed, there were some weather problems coming in, he's on his way. So I said, whatever, you know, because she was in earshot of us, so she could have heard us talking. I just decided, all right, well, we're gonna go down and go get a shake from this little local drive-in place over there. And I was like, and then when we come back, we'll be gone for like 30 minutes. When we come back, if he's not here, we're leaving. So we left and went and got our stuff, and then we came back and still he wasn't there. So by this time, you know, it's been like 3 hours almost. So I was like, well, I gotta go to the bathroom, but once I go, we're leaving because this is bullshit. As I was just about to leave, I opened the door, I heard the doorbell ring. And, you know, some commotion at the door and all this kind of stuff, and then I heard him. He's got a really distinctive voice. If you've ever seen his movies, I mean, a lot of people mimic him and stuff because he's very, I mean, I know Kung Fu. I mean, he's just, you can't mistake who he is. So I'm standing at the door and I hear him, you know, hey guys. And I'm like, he was serious. So I just run back in the bathroom, I shut the door, and I'm like fixing my hair. Deep breath, you know, open the door, went out. Well, the hallway's really, really dark, and I'm too busy like making sure that my pants are on straight, my shirt's tucked in, everything's, you know, that I look nice. And I don't remember what I was looking at, but I was looking the opposite way, and when I rounded the corner, smacked right into him. And so it threw me off, you know, I almost like fell on my butt, but I caught myself up against the wall. And he was like, he like dropped his stuff, he's like, are you okay? I am so sorry, I wasn't paying attention. And I'm like, I couldn't even talk. He was like, okay, come here. So he takes me into the living room and like sits me on the couch, and he's just doesn't leave me for the rest of the afternoon, making sure I'm okay. I was like, I didn't even fall, but whatever. So we're just sitting there and we're talking, and everybody else comes in, and now we're all talking, and then the other people start playing Halo, and we just continued to have conversations. And I'm 18, so it's almost like, what do you have to say to somebody like that? But I just felt immediately comfortable with him. He was very nice, and it probably wouldn't have even happened that way had I not ran into him. So I think he just felt bad, which it was entirely my fault. I wasn't even looking at all. But it was a great afternoon, and we stayed there for a long time. Finally, Jamie was like, we gotta go. You know, I've got to get home. My parents have called me like 6 times. And I was really bummed. The whole time that we're like getting ready to go, getting our stuff, Keanu's like following me around, talking to me still. And, you know, he follows me out to the car, and he's still talking. And I'm like, just really happy, because it's almost like he really does like to talk to me. That's really cool. It's really refreshing, because, you know, it was cool to have a friend that was a guy that just wanted to talk and wasn't, you know, really interested in anything else. And, yeah. But I obviously had the biggest crush on him, and I'm like, you know, I'm just a girl. So I get into the car, and Jamie's like, we have to go. Shut him up. And he taps on the window as I roll it down, and he's like, he's like, well, you're really gonna go? It's like, yeah, I gotta go, you know, her parents are calling her, and I didn't bring my car, she drove me up here. And he's like, well, give me your phone. Okay, so I handed him my cell phone, and he puts his phone number in there. And I was like, ah! And he hands me a pen, and so I write my number on his hand, and it was totally, like, surreal, I guess. So Jamie pulls out, and we're headed down the street, and as soon as we're, like, out of, I can't see the house anymore, I roll down my window, and I'm like, roll down your window right now. She's like, what? Are you gonna fart? Like, no. So I stick my head out, and I was like, oh my God! I screamed as loud as I could, because I was so excited. I was like, that's fucking Keanu Reeves! Oh my God! And yeah, I just remember being so incredibly, like, I can't believe that just happened.